stumbly, but the report just released puts the odds against a state-run bank in context for stakeholders, says a communications director for the California Cannabis Industry Association. He called it a silver bullet we never really felt was going to be a reality. We won't see a long-term marijuana business banking solution until action is taken at the federal level. And that wraps it up for the Cannabis News. I'm Rick Thompson. Thank you very much for listening. Planet Green Trees rocks.
Thank you very much, Rick. Good stuff.
That was horrible on the banking thing.
Yeah.
The whole reading of the news was horrible, Steve?
No.
It was atrocious.
It's
Cold blood. It was really bad. Really particularly bad tonight.
Well, this concept of a state-run bank is a difficult one to swallow, regardless of the reasons why you want to form one. Because our banking industry is so worried that if they have a state-run bank, they'll find out how much money is available in it, and they'll just eventually eliminate commercial banks. So it's a tough sell.
Well, who backs up
for
a
the
state
industry.
bank like the Federal Reserve backs up the?
That's a curious question.
You know,
because
if something
I don't
goes
know,
wrong,
I don't know of any
what kind
state
of-
banks because they have such a hard time ever forming. So, I mean, here in Michigan, look around every corner. You've got a credit union of some kind or another out there. There's a ton of people taking advantage of banking opportunities. We just need access, and if that has to come on the hands of a President Trump executive order, I'll take it. I'd rather see it done in the form of legislation because that's binding, durable, and can be negotiated and altered through process as we learn more. Legislation's always preferable for that purpose, but whatever it takes, I mean, whether it's a decision made by a federal agency, we've got to be able to open up these doors.
Yeah. The whole industry can't operate on cash. It's crazy.
And you can easily dictate or determine rather whether the source of the money coming into the banking institution is a legitimate one authorized by the state or not a legitimate one. So it's not as if by reforming banking you're opening the doors to cartels. Remember that was the big buzzword during the 90s, Steve?
Right.
Cartels. Yep, they're coming in.
They're still throwing it out.
We were
there.
hearing that in
MS-13
right before the election. What's his name? The
Scott
Humpty Dumpty dude.
Humpty Dumpty.
That's what he was saying.
Oh,
Greenlee. Greenlee.
No, not Greenlee.
Oh, Masai? Scott
Randy
Masai?
Richards.
Randy, that's him, yeah.
And then,
He's
but
a
you
Humpty
know who
Dumpty,
brought
too.
that up when you and I
He's
were
Humpty
on,
Dumpty, too.
He and I had a very famous
when you and I were on
argument.
Leonard Riff was the guy who was the chair of the Judiciary Committee, Runstead.
Yeah.
He's the
yeah.
one on that show. He brought up all this cartel thing. And
Yeah, well, that's because, I don't know if you knew this or not, but that was Rep Runstead, and he's a dick.
Yeah, we found that out.
Jim, you just tricked me. I thought you were going to,
No.
come to his defense.
No, not today. Not today.
There's no greater evidence than what you just cited, that these people oftentimes just repeat talking points that they hear, right? So when the people that are giving the talking points don't get the facts right, then their untruths get spread like wildfire. And especially when you're viewing a fact in a lens that allows you to distort it in order to present a piece of information that's not contained within it. How many times have we seen, Michael, that a prosecuting attorney will take a little factoid from the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act and completely twist it around to mean something totally opposite?
You pull it out of context, and you keep repeating it until it sounds like it's the truth.
Pull it out of context. That's exactly right, Deb. That's the phrase I was trying to struggle
president.
for.
Yeah, well, he doesn't even have any context on anything.
Yep. So when they do that,
still people believe him.
Yeah,
I know.
well,
And then-
I
and then
don't
they,
know. People are crazy.
well, you know what? Here's the thing. I saw a little clip on Axios the other day, or somebody like that. Maybe it was a Drudge. They'd done a montage of all the times President Trump said he's the most knowledgeable person about a single subject. Nobody knows more than technology than me. Nobody knows more about war than me. Nobody knows more about being president than me. Nobody knows more about the South than me. Nobody knows more about the stock market than me. It was like a greatest hits that was a worst run thing. And it went on forever. All these different things he's
You
talking
keep
about.
thinking it's a movie or something. I think this is something. It's a reality show, and we're all just stuck in the middle of it.
You know, the more we learn about this stuff prior to the Mueller report coming out, now we learn that Cohen had actually paid some tech companies to try and influence the results of elections prior to the election. We hear all the different layers of contact.
There's no collusion, right?
That his
Rudy told us.
administration or his campaign had with Eastern Europeans and Russians.
Rudy has admitted collusion now, whereas yesterday he said there was no collusion. Today there's collusion.
We live in a bizarro world where you never know what's going to happen when you turn on the TV.
All I can remember is when we were in this room doing the show prior to the 2016 election, and
Were we in this room in 2016?
yes,
Wow.
or
We've been here a while.
yes, we have,
I think so, yeah.
and because we're on year 4 in this office.
Oh, that can't be right.
It's,
I bet we in 2016. Bet we were saying no way Trump wins. Is that what you're?
Well,
saying?
we were talking kind of about that, and Jeff Frazier, my brother Jeff, next to me, starts talking about how crazy Trump is. He's insane.
He is.
You know, there's no way he should be president. And I was thought, well, he couldn't really be that bad if he did get it.
Yeah, how'd
And
that
it's
work
like
out?
a million times worse than what Jeff could even describe to me. It's ridiculous. Brother Jeff, right on again as he always is.
Look, politics have always been theater to a certain degree, but this is theater to the nth degree.
Oh, it's horrible.
Okay.
It's
And the world is watching, and we look like a bunch of idiots.
Really
except-
bad burlesque
We're a
show,
terrible
you know,
we really
are.
are.
with drag queens. Look, if you nominate the cast of the Teletubbies to be your administrative cabinet, then your presidency is going to have trouble. If you're surrounded by people who really don't have voices, who just move around kind of bumbling and are easily replaceable whenever you desire, it's like from Alice in Wonderland. This is like the Queen of Hearts, just lopping off heads whenever she wants. I can't wait. Give me like 10 years after the Trump presidency. I want to read all the books, all the insider stuff about the craziness that went on during this administration, all of the tell-alls. I want to consume all that info.
Start with Omarosa's.
Oh my God, Omarosa! What a bad ad to your staff.
Everything
Come on.
about it is unbelievable. What is somebody
I mean,
like that doing as a White House staffer to begin
it's
with?
so-
Right?
Look,
What
they're
in the
giving
world is
Russia
going on
everything
up
they
in
want.
there?
They're talking about trying to remove sanctions from oligarchs who participated in terrorism
And she's got her cell phone under the table
withdrawing
recording it,
from
right?
NATO, withdrawing from
Nobody's
Syria.
checking anything
this
out.
is like Putin's Christmas list,
This
man.
was,
It's like a Saturday Night Live skit that won't end.
there was a
It just
thing
continues on. You know?
Yesterday I was watching, showing how Trump has been visiting Russia since before the Soviet Union disbanded. So
Right.
there's
Right.
talk that is he.
Well, I mean, did
is
he-
some sort of a?
Let's remember who his first wife was, right?
And wasn't
His
he
first wife was like a
urinating
Russian-
on prostitutes in Russia?
Hold on.
Wasn't that part of the
He was
story?
being investigated. The FBI released that he was being investigated as a working spy for
Yeah.
Russia at some point in time before he became president.
And what they said was what they were trying to
consider.
consider was whether or not he was an agent for them or unwittingly just being used as a stooge.
Right.
Either an agent or a stooge. What's it
The
gonna
fourth
be, man?
stooge.
I'm sure it was the
You
stooge.
ever
not
see him around
Shemp, it's
Putin? He looks
Trump.
He looks like a puppy dog, like the old cartoon where you got the little dog that runs around.
The
Hey,
big
Spike,
dog, right?
what are you doing, Spike? That's Trump with Putin. If you watch them together, that's what he's like. He's like,
It's Batman and Robin, and unfortunately we got Robin, and they got
I
Batman.
wouldn't even call
Robin is
him
way
Robin.
cooler than
Robin's cooler.
Hey, Putin
Robin's
answered
got
yes.
tights
You
on.
remember? Did you see that interview with Putin? They asked Putin. Putin and Trump were standing on the stage. They asked Putin. They said, "Are you glad that did you want Trump to win the presidency?" He said, "Yes." You know, and there was like, oh, kind of covered it up. But he played Trump like a fiddle.
He's still playing them.
Yeah. It's just,
They were showing a video where they were at some dinner at one of the events, and Putin was like across the table from him. He's looking over to Putin and doing one of these and giving him a thumbs up, and like a little fucking puppy dog, trying to show his master that he's obeying.
Exactly.
Some of us have been in the corporate world, and we've seen the suck-up manager who the assistant manager who just always tries to kiss the boot of the guy in charge. Nobody has respect for him. He runs around trying to be a big shot. I'll take care of this for you, big guy. Sure, yeah, big guy. He's like the guy at the gas station calls you boss all the time. Hey, boss.
yeah. Or
Hey, boss.
chief.
$20 a day, boss. No, just 10. Come on, $20 a day, boss. Come on.
Yeah.
Just so it's
Clearly absurd times.
White House theater like SCTV. I mean, I just want to.
I would say I kind of agreed with Steve that I was kind of expecting like an Arnold Schwarzenegger president. I knew it was going to be somewhat comical.
Yes, exactly.
But I didn't realize just how destructive and psychotic he truly is.
I think Arnold would be okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like Arnold would be all right.
In California, he surrounded himself with very smart people. He really did, and he listened to what they had to say. This is a president, like I just said. He says he's an expert on everything, so that means he doesn't respect anybody's opposing viewpoint on anything because he thinks he knows better than everybody.
The smartest leader surrounds themselves with people who know.
He's not smart.
That was his pitch, though, wasn't it? He led everybody to believe that he knew how to get good people. That he picks like Ben Carson.
Oh, and Betsy DeVos.
Dave, there was a nice little chart the other day about all the lobbyists that are now heads of different departments in the federal government. You know, people that hate the environment running the EPA. You know, airline executives running the transportation department, all that stuff.
Makes sense.
As somebody who hates public education, being in charge of public education.
I know.
Oh, that's
Remember when he wouldn't hire John Bolton for a Secretary of Defense right off the bat because he thought he had a big walrus mustache and people wouldn't respect it? And now John Bolton's the only guy crazy enough to take the job of Secretary of Defense for... So now he's got Bolton. And just,
But who still said we shouldn't pull out of Syria?
Yes. No. I mean, all you have to do is listen to the military commanders, and they'll say ISIS isn't defeated. We can't abandon the Kurdish allies we've had all this time.
Well, but Putin said.
I know.
Putin said, Rick. We got to do what Uncle Vlad has us do. You know?
It wasn't that many weeks ago where Trump said we should be able to censor Saturday Night Live because they're just too mean to me.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, that means you guys are doing something right, guys. Keep going.
Actually, I think they kind of humanize him because you're laughing.
Well.
You know, so it just kind of softens him up a little bit.
The funniest thing is when George Bush died.
That wasn't that funny.
They were doing memory things.
It was the funniest thing.
And they did the Dana Carvey. Are you guys just
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
I'm a one-termer.
And
And his hands.
him and Bush were going. Bush was like, "That is not
says,
what
I
I
have
sound
never
like."
said I've never said
It was
that
a
in my
funny
life.
exchange.
It was
a
really
good,
fun.
isolated exchange.
Dana
That-
Carvey.
Yeah, I did
That
see
was
that.
somebody who is,
I hate to-
whether you like Bush or not.
I wish.
It was a humanizing.
I wish George Bush was president.
Pushes in perspective a little bit.
I would
Yes,
I would take 100 Bushes over Donald
Jim, I
Trump.
have to interrupt because Dave just sent me a picture. He has finished the cabinet, and it looks like it's solid.
Good.
Good job, Dave.
Good job.
Yay,
That
Dave.
looks excellent, Dave.
Good job.
Much better than I could have done.
Not a super fan of Herbert Walker Bush myself. He continued the Reagan policy of death squads in Latin America and replacing despots and some of the horrible things that we did and
He did.
supported in Panama and then went ahead and
I mean,
ripped
there's a
off the
lot
decade
that
anyway.
he did that was
That's partially the point.
right, but compared to Donald Trump,
Yeah, he did a lot of things
Yeah,
I disagreed with.
I would still take that. Look, he added a sense of decorum, and he maintained that whole Reagan White House professionalism.
And he's not crazy.
I wasn't a big fan of Reagan either, but the White House was ran professionally.
And his wife was not a stripper. And
Every White House
you know.
prior to this one has been ran
I
pretty
think so,
professionally.
yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
there's been some bad ones in there, I guess. Probably Nixon, maybe.
Well, look, there's been
I am
some
not a crook.
White Houses where people have had issues with the way that they've reacted to people, but I don't think there's been utter chaos like we have here. People describe the situation in the White House with the word chaos most frequently, I think.
that is very true.
And how about that whole list of people that used to be employed but no longer are?
That's pretty crazy.
Ridiculous, that kind of turnover. How can you count on anything anybody says in the government if 2 weeks from now they could be ousted and a different person is sitting right there? But
God, and he might have another Supreme Court pick too.
I just can't wait for Mueller. No, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's got to hold on.
She
No,
said
she said-
she's in for at least 2 more years.
Yeah, she said that.
She's
but
awesome. She's awesome.
Yeah, get her some honey.
RBG and some Esteban's
Yeah.
honey.
Road trip. Let's go.
Let's go, 'cause we'll keep her going. Whatever we got to do.
We'll keep her. For real. I bet you she'd be receptive. She's
She was.
so brilliant. I'm sure she'd have no problem understanding.
She's
That
amazing.
honey'd make her feel like